New technology and lending. Is there a connection? Hi and welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Helene Russo. Today's guest is Delaware State Representative Helene Keeley, who represents District 3. And we're here talking a little bit about some legislation that you've been working on. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, right now, we wanted to talk about the payday loans, and that's something that's been sort of an issue for a while.
Sure, absolutely, it has been. I was unsuccessful in getting two bills passed. This is a history for me going back 12 years in the legislature. I first attempted trying to get some payday lending legislation in the state, was a failed attempt. It did not get out of committee. A couple years later, tried again, and again was unsuccessful getting it out of committee. Two other legislators kind of took up the cause, and again, two bills that were never allowed out of committee. So this past year, I really went back and did a little bit more research, tried to figure out a way that would not necessarily hurt our Delaware banking community, but yet kind of still get to the goal of what I wanted to do, which was to make payday lenders more accountable for the loans that they're lending to people in our community.
Well, it sounds like something that is needed to make them more accountable. I mean, what kinds of things are you seeing that sort of need to be fixed?
Sure. I mean, it runs the gamut. I mean, by no means am I saying that maybe payday lenders have a reason to be in our community. The bill, House Bill 289, does not do away with payday lending, and it still allows people who may find themselves in an emergency situation to actually still use a payday lending place for that emergency. However, what the bill does is that it creates a database, number one, and then number two, it says that they have to cap the loans at 5 per year, so at $1,000 per loan. So you're really looking at somebody having the ability to borrow in an emergency up to $5,000, which really, I mean, most times people are using it because their car broke down and they need $500 right away. So we're not saying to payday lenders, we don't want you here. What we're saying is that you need to be more accountable. And what the database does, if I go into ABC Cash and show that I make $500 every week and I take out a loan for $250, and then I drive a half a mile up the road and go into XYZ and get out another $250, the likelihood of me being able to pay back all $500 on my next payday is very slim. Knowing that I still have to pay rent, I still have gas and electric, I still have to buy gas, and I still have to buy food. And so what the database will do is once I go into ABC, XYZ will then see that there's already an existing loan and will hopefully think twice about actually lending. So it's actually lender beware.
Well, it certainly makes a lot of sense. For our viewers, can we kind of take a couple steps backwards and explain briefly what a payday loan is?
Sure. Payday loans are just that. I will lend you money until your next payday. But what happens is that people get caught in the cycle. They need $250 right now today, but if you take into an account, it's just say on average, somebody goes in and borrows $325, and then the fee on top of it is probably like another $60, and that person makes $350,000, or excuse me, $35,000 a year, and you take it, you minus out, the taxes, you minus out healthcare, you minus out rent, and all that, and everything else all the way down. Guess how much that person has left at the end of the 2 weeks?
It's got to be in the negative.
It's in the negative. They're negative $150. They will never get out of the cycle. And there are alternatives out there for people who need assistance. Nonprofit organizations have partnered with local banks that you can go in and get a loan at 9.99% and not 600%.
Well, it sounds like people can really be taken advantage of.
Absolutely, and that's what we're trying to do. We're really trying to help people who find themselves in a pickle, unbeknownst to themselves, and they need a little help, but yet we don't want them to get caught in the cycle where people are having their homes foreclosed on. The number one reason for bankruptcy is payday loans.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for coming in and sort of educating us today.
Thank you.
You've just heard from Helene Keeley, who is Delaware State Representative representing District 3. To learn more on what's going on in your communities, check out On Demand and click Get Local. For Comcast Newsmakers, I'm Helene Russo.